off by people and you think, well, nothing is going to come out from this person. And everything is pointing to the fact that there's surely nothing that's going to come out. And, well, God just pulls the last move and things turn out for good. And that's what that song is talking about. There are times when we go through certain situations and we think we're not going to ever come out. And it's only God that really does all the marvelous things that we get to experience above it all. We have in studio, our studio guest today is Antonio Mwanemuke, producer, presenter, author, songwriter. He is a whole total package. And this is a man that has struggled with so many things, including mental illness. And, well, we're just going to hear his testimony. And he has written a book simply entitled Born to Win. And his story is in this book. And it's one of those stories that gets to actually inspire you and just motivate you to actually live your life, because if he overcame all those things, regardless of what people may say and what the status quo was, he still managed to get through it. And we have him in studio. Antonio Mwanemuke, let me just say another welcome, because now we're really delving into what this whole book and the CD is all about. You decided to do a double a release. That's a book, Born to Win, and Born to Win, an audio CD. What was your motivation to actually get to do it?
I've been quiet for quite a while in terms of music ministry. So, and it's because I was battling with what it is that I should decide would be the form to present what I want to share to the world. And I thought songs kind of limit you. You only have 3-4 minutes max, and you end up editing out a lot of things if you want to tell a story. So I said, okay, let me put it in music form, and let me also put it in a book, so that you get the songs, you enjoy the melody, you dance to the beats, you get encouraged by listening to it via phone or whichever method you use to listen to music. But then also, in your spare time, you get to read the book. And also, for me, I really feel it's high time, people get to bring out stuff that they went through to encourage people out there, because there are so many people that, see me on TV, that talk to me in public when we meet, and they don't know what I've been through. They don't know what I went through to get where I am.
Okay.
So
to get where you are, we have to hold your thought before you get to where you have actually reached. But Master, maybe you have to pick up this call and just get to hear what the viewers got to say.
All right. You're through the Gospel Hour. Good morning. Hello, good morning. Good morning. You're through the Gospel Hour. Hello, good morning. We have probably lost a caller. Maybe we can.
Yes, we seem to have a technical challenge, but please do not relent. Keep on trying, and you will definitely get to talk to Antonio Mwanemuke live in studio. Well, you struggled with so many other things apart from the major one, which is mental illness. You were somebody that really struggled with. You didn't know how to read, and there were all these other things. Let me not preempt, but maybe just run us through how your life was, and the mental illness. Maybe just take through people through that phase.
Yeah, so I'm in class in grade 7, and pretty much most grade 7s can read and write. They can understand things, and obviously getting ready for exams. I'm in class, I can't read or write. Always last in that particular class. And friends even tell you never amount to anything, and you also believe that, but it's that same year that I battled a lot with asthma. I had a lot of asthma attacks, and breathing for me, that's why for me when I wake up and I say I thank God it's a new day, like I literally do thank God that I can breathe, because breathing was a big issue for me. Taking one breath would be like, oh my God, I just took a breath without any pain, and it's that same year when I was in grade 7 that I decided, what, I'm going through a lot. Let me give my life to Jesus and ask for help with what I'm going through. And instantly, God healed me of the asthma. Even as a child, I understood what faith was. God taught me how to read. I learned how to read using the Bible. Talk about vows and whatnot. I learned how to read using my mom's Bible. Like, I took it and I said, God, teach me how to read. And the first verse I learned was, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. Years later, realizing what God did, continuing to walk in faith. When I did my first album, the first Born to Win, I was at Findeco House and I collapsed there, while promoting my album. When I woke up, I was mentally ill, totally upside down, didn't know who I was, didn't know who the president was, didn't know what year it was, and I thank God that I can remember all the events that happened to write a book. I think it's because God wanted, for me to share my story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, maybe just hold your thoughts. I know we'll have to cut you faster.
We'll pick up a call, Antonio. You're through the Gospel Hour. Good morning. Hello, good morning. You're through the Gospel Hour. Hello, good morning. We have a bit of connectivity.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You're through the Gospel Hour. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from. And kindly turn down the volume on your TV set. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Chinsal.
All right, go ahead with your contribution.
Hello.
Kindly go ahead with your contribution.
My contribution is thank God for Brother Manamuke.
Yes.
Indeed, waiting upon God is a principal thing. As he has alluded to, as you wait upon God, it's not just sitting down. Indeed, it is doing something. Whosoever waited upon God was doing something, and God used that situation to achieve that which they wanted to see. So I believe, even as Brother Manamuke has put it into it, faith is the substance of things hoped for and things, and for the evidence of things not seen. So as you wait upon God, indeed you have to do something. More Kamate calling from Chinsali.
Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Gentlemen, if you may continue.
Yes, and Antonio, you were talking about how that the mental illness then chipped in, and I know the details are in the book and all. But how was it? Because for me, I'm trying to figure out, was it the kind of mental illness where you go pick papers, or it was just one of those where you maybe talking to yourself or was there any other foreign substance that contributed to you getting ill, or what? The viewers have to really get to understand it.
True. It was both what you've said. It was the picking papers and talking to yourself. It was everything. It was a total mess up. No foreign substance was a contributor to it. The doctor said that it was normal malaria that turned to cerebral, that turned to bipolar disorder, that turned to mental illness. Yeah, so it was a whole jargon of medical explanation. But look, my mind flipped. Like for me, I was non-existent. Yeah. I would, after being dropped at the clinic, a few injections here and there, at times I would even think I'm the president of the country. I would walk talking to people like I want to change their lives, I'm the president. I would walk. Now I understand that this happened at the time when my name was already out there. I had the What Would Jesus Do If He Came to Zambia video was playing, and people are like, this guy is really doing an amazing work. They had no idea what I was going through. The whole period I was mentally ill and battling with my life, because you would think so much during the period, the head would pain, and it was really terrible.
Terrible indeed. Master, maybe just pick up this call. I have to hold you.
Indeed. You're through the Gospel Hour. Good morning. Hello, good morning. You're through the Gospel Hour. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning. Please tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
I'm calling from Mukula.
Indeed, go ahead, sir, with the contribution.
Hello.
Kindly turn down the volume on the TV set.
From Mukula.
Yes, indeed. Go ahead with the contribution.
I want to contribute from the program CV. It's the pleasure of taking this opportunity to address.
Thank you. Please go ahead.
I plus more Christian is how we put our faith in God and our needs for God as a Christian. Our greatest need for us is to have the Spirit of God upon us. If we can recall the story of the apostles, Jesus Christ promised them to receive the Holy Spirit, and that's the Holy Spirit that came on the day of Pentecost. The greatest desire of a Christian is to have salvation. Now, in our modern society, our desire is like to live a godly life. We connected to material things. And then if you find a situation you are not in a material being, or you don't have, or maybe the passion, the desires, the houses and the like, we tend to do that to be in sin. But our greatest desire, in short, as it is in John 14, God tells us that let our hearts not be troubled. We believe in Him, we also believe in Jesus Christ. Because our promise is to have eternal life. And then if we go to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, there's the greatest point whereby there was a time whereby they were put to test to say, if you don't bow down to this idol worship, you will be thrown into the hell of fire. You'll be thrown into the furnace. And then the point that they said, which I like to quote, even though our God will not save us, but you still save our living God. That is the point. So in our modern Christianity, if we take that vow, even if we go through the bad and worst situations, let us stick to God's promise. That love should be in us, that even though the situation be hard, I'll still worship my God. Even though I'm not employed, I'll still worship my God. Even though I'm passing through situations like this and this, ups and downs, even though I'm left alone, no one to take good of, no friends around me, but the God I save will be still there for me. That is the goal of a Christian, despite every material thing that comes around us, because where our heart is, there lies our treasures. If my heart is in passion, is in housing, then there is my treasure. I know that this world will pass away, but my God will live forever. Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
Thank you. I love the passion, the fire that you have. God bless you.
Amen.
Amen. Gentlemen, wow, a lot of reactions all over the country.
Exactly,
Sure.
exactly. And we're still continuing with Antonio. He is going to be singing shortly one of the songs from his album. But first of all, we just want to get to understand why he wrote the book Born to Win and why he produced the album Born to Win. So we are with him in studio, and he's just talking about his mental illness that he had gone through, and we just want to find out really during that time you had released your album What Would Jesus Do, and you were the most happening gospel artist at that time. I remember seeing that video, and I didn't know that that's what was
Chief Ben, I used to be producing at the Fintech House, so we were interlinked.
Serious?
Yes, about that time.
wow. But how did you deal with the mental illness and the stardom that you had all of a sudden gotten?
So it reached a point where you would interact with people, even at national level through TV and radio, yet your mind is not with you. So you would do things and say things that are not worthy of a Christian, okay? So during that period, I lost a lot of friends that didn't know what I was going through. During that period, I lost my school because I was an UNZA student. I lost my scholarship. A lot of depressing things were happening to me, and this is a span of a year. Okay, I had that for a year. My parents really stood in prayer. You know, a few friends that really stood in prayer for me because medicine failed. Like I would be okay. After 6 months, I would be okay for a week plus. Then I would relapse. To a point where you're at some college visiting and you start taking off your clothes in public. And people are looking at you and they're saying, but we know this guy. Is he drunk? Is he on drugs? So the devil really embarrassed me during that period. You know, and you ran back to medicine, you ran back to this clinic, and nothing helped. You know, we stood on God. Talk about waiting on God. we stood on God with my family, and miraculously God healed me. You know, my mind came back to normal. God helped me to remember everything that happened and how good he just saved me, because there were even times I could have lost my life. I remember one time I was in a bus along Great East Road, and you know, coming from Unza, and this we had a running with the conductor. I gave him some money and we had some running, and then I decided to get off the bus, a speeding bus. You know, in my mind it's okay to jump off a speeding bus, but that could have been my death. But God saved me, man. Like he had no reason to. He did not owe me anything, but it was out of love and out of grace. And that's why I decided to write a book, so that I could share my story about what I went through, and to encourage somebody out there that there's no situation which is too big for God. Because for me, literally, medicine did fail. You know, but God reached in and said, I'm going to preserve you. You know, so that there are times, you know, we struggle in life, we fail to wait on God, but I just want to assure you who's watching that God cares. You know, he's there to save you. He's got a purpose for you. And for me, I knew after God healed me that he really had a purpose, because he's a God of restoration. I mean, he managed to take me back to the university with scholarship back on the table, full-time scholarship. Even when I had embarrassed myself, it's a situation where you embarrass yourself to someone who wants to promote you and even give you platform to reach out to a bigger network across Africa. Because of that, what would Jesus do? That song opened a lot of doors, like a lot, Africa-wise. And then because of the mental illness, everything just closed. People that wanted to take me abroad to do stuff with me just saw my behavior and said, this boy is on drugs. Meanwhile, they didn't know that I was sick, you know. And for me, it brought in a lot of depression now, where things are happening and then things just close. Then you're depressed now. So a whole year of depression, of dealing with, when you're walking in the streets, kids are like, nafunta, you know what I mean? And then you're just like, you know, that discrimination and whatnot. But God healed me from that too, the same way he healed me from the mental illness. And he opened up even bigger doors. You know, so people watch me today, I'm a living testimony.
Antonio Manamuke is definitely a living testimony, Mason. Because, I mean, some of the things that I've done are not as grave as what he went through. And yet, I coil in my corner thinking that, you know, I'm an embarrassment to both my family and myself. And I don't know how I would have gone out of that stigma and depression if not for God. So for now, maybe we get to sample a song from his album, and just get to, maybe we'll just get to release you, so that maybe you could get
so the song is coined from one of the scriptures that really helped me out of the depression. I came across this verse in Isaiah 43 verse 18 and 19 that says, forget the former things, do not dwell in the past. Behold, I am doing a new thing. Do you not perceive it? I'm making a way in the wasteland. You know, so for me it was like, God, I've lost everything. I've lost friends. I've lost the fame. I've lost everything I worked hard for. And because being an Unza student, I used to save the allowances to produce songs. So I had done like close to 18 songs using allowances. That's like your whole life saving for a student. And then everything had gone into water because of the illness. And I was like, God, I've lost it all. So I know what it is to lose it all and only have God. You know, so God started speaking to me through that scripture to say, forget it, forget it. I'm going to do something bigger than that. I'm going to show you bigger things, you know. So the song is called Madobi Dobi, which means feeling good. Now, the feeling good is I got paid, I'm happy. No. You are in a bad situation, but God can give you a peace that passes our understanding. It's hip-hop, but listen to it closely. The words are really deep and from that scripture. Forget the former things. Forget about it.
Amen. I don't want to forget that he is in studio and is about to perform, but we are going to just listen into Antonio's Madobi Dobi, which is on the album Born to Win too. And yeah, maybe you can get to do your thing, and then we'll see how that goes down. So we have him in studio, and we're talking about his book, whilst we're talking about, waiting on God. And that's basically what we look at. Because for him, it was a situation where he lost literally everything, and now he had to wait on God. And that waiting is what brought all the restoration and everything that actually did happen. We have him now in studio, and he's giving us a song simply entitled Madobi Dobi, and I hope that you get blessed and ministered to. Antonio Manamoke.
Ninebo yellow dove, Chimwana Chara Yahweh. Somebody try to piss me off, attend the other chick. I live to forgive, never lose my temper quick. When the enemy comes in like a flood, I never start panicking, I'm covered by the blood. Tried for my faith, but I'll never be shaken. This joy that I have, boy, can never be taken. I forget the former things and never dwell in the past. When trouble comes my way, I'm like, this too shall pass. 1,000 may fall, but they never come using. I count it all joy, nivela temushe. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. But yes, you run invest, my dough be dopey. Satana ni musonda, inanselo sansanya. My plans yake yonse, desire pwanya. Kaili sale wa mkonyo na mutu kulu. Muzina ya Yesu, mpamvu ni fulu. I Romans 5:3, ngie choka chepa mwana Psalm 34. That's why ni masama umoyo suli fair sini dandaula spreading that depression in the ansula. The moment when things get crazy and wild, that's the time I lift my hands and I shout real loud. Lord Jesus, I will praise you despite my storm. You've given me the strength, that's why I never fear. I need my persecution, Lord, you help me persevere. Isaiah 43, through the fire you were there. I thank you, Lord, you never give me more than I can bear. I worship you, Jesus, I know you really care. I forget the former things, I never dwell in the past. When trouble comes my way, I'm like, this too shall pass. 1,000 may fall, but they never come using. I count it all joy, nivela temushe. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. But yes, you run invest, my dough be dopey. I use my words to decree what I'll be, unlike using words to describe what I see. I use my words to decree what I'll be, unlike using words to describe what I see. I tell my storm how big my God is, unlike telling God how big my storm is. I tell my storm how big my God is, unlike telling God how big my storm is. I forget the former things and never dwell in the past. When trouble comes my way, I'm like, this too shall pass. 1,000 may fall, but they never come using. I count it all joy, nivela temushe. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. But yes, you run invest, my dough be dopey. I forget the former things and never dwell in the past. When trouble comes my way, I'm like, this too shall pass. 1,000 may fall, but they never come using. I count it all joy, nivela temushe. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. My dough be dopey. But yes, you run invest, my dough be dopey.
Amazing music there from Travis Green, of course connecting to great and awesome stuff from Antonio Madobi Dobi. He's in studio with us and, of course, chatting with Leonard and myself. But before I hand over to them, let me just quickly read your responses from Faith Gospel Hour Facebook page. I've got Chiloba A. Chabi saying good morning to you, hoping you're blessed and inspired today. That's all he says. Thank you. We're inspired, we're blessed. And Eduardo Santos says good morning. Or I think I was waiting on something which someone did, but it's not easy to wait. So, yes, it's not easy to wait, but we have to keep on waiting on the Lord. Dennis Farakat Kabwe, this is my personal friend. He says, just like the Bible says, good morning, good things come to those who wait, or about man's desires, but it's God who prevails. And so in whatever situation we can be, God's time is the best. Thanks, Dennis. Mputa, Junior President, says, good morning, Mr. Mandela, Maston, and Mwanamuke. Nice program, God bless. He gives us a verse from 2 Peter 3, verse 8 and 9. Dear friends, one thing must not forget that the day is like the day to the Lord is like 1,000 years and 1,000. Okay, it's the same scripture that talks about how time is not important to God. Thank you very much, Mputa. So if you can go to our Facebook page, you stand a chance to win this book I'm holding in my hands, and or the CD that Leonard is holding in his hands. Exactly. This is Born to Win by our guest in studio today, who is also an NBC producer, he's a songwriter, he's a psalmist, he's a poet. He's awesome. So he's with us today, and of course you stand a chance to win this book. Just share that post as many times as you share. We will count. The one with most shares gets to have this book, or that CD. So we're giving out all this today. Leonard, back to you.
Exactly, Masson. And man, the song that he was performing in studio is one of the songs that has been included on his Born to Win Part 2 album. And it's a 20-track album, and it brings out a whole lot more. And for him, who was suffering from mental illness, to actually get to write a book and also get to produce another album is nothing short but God's intervention and doing. And we're just going to delve into that, but for now, we're just going to pause off as Maston picks up another caller who's come through.
You're through the Gospel Hour. Good morning. Hello, good morning. You're through the Gospel Hour.
Hello.
Good morning. Kindly tell us your name and
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Kindly tell us your name and where you're calling us from.
Hello.
I can hear you. Good morning.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Come on. Hello.
Okay, just go ahead with the contribution. Go ahead.
Hello.
I can hear you. Good morning. Okay.
Okay. This is Pastor Mshanga. I'm calling you from Kashure.
Thank you, Pastor. Please go ahead.
I'm enjoying the topic and the discussion, waiting on God.
Amen.
And thank you for the good testimony there. Very touching and very encouraging. I want to say, waiting on God. First of all, you can't wait on something that you don't know and something that you are not sure of. So waiting on God for me, first of all, simply means you know who God is, but it goes beyond that. It's also having a personal relationship with Him. Because when you have a personal relationship with Him, then you get to understand that what He says in His word will surely come to pass. The words of God Himself in Jeremiah 29, verse 8, verse 11, where He says, I know the plans that I have for you. So really, when you are waiting on God, you know that His plans are good. It may linger, but it will surely come to pass. So waiting is not waiting for the sake of waiting. It's not a hearsay. It's not a rumor. You have a personal relationship with Him, and you know that definitely what He says will surely come to pass. So that is what I wanted to contribute. Thank you very much.
Absolutely appreciated. Thank you very much, sir, and stay blessed. Leonard, more sentiments.
Yes, exactly. Proverbs chapter 3 and verse 5 and 6 simply says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. There are times when we want to
busy, right?
Yeah, because you probably are looking at it from your own understanding and you're thinking, okay, so it won't work out. But then God is bigger than anything. So if we put it in our own limited understanding, we are bound to limit God because we're looking at it from our own perspective. Yes. You get what I'm saying? So, okay, but anyway, that's just me. Antonio,
yes.
you have just been healed from mental illness, and there's all this talk that has been going on that you were doing drugs, and by that time you were. Everybody's talking about you being a gospel artist and all, and all of a sudden now they're talking about you doing drugs and you're mad. Nobody wants to associate with you. All the openings that were there are now closing, and you're drifting into depression. And at that time, what really made you hold on? And maybe let me not cue the other question, because I just want to hear what made you hold on.
There was nothing else. This whole thing happened for a very long time. Okay, so it's like a year plus. So there's nothing else to hold on to. Like you've lost it all, and you realize that the only way out of this is God. So for me, it was that realization that only God can heal me completely, because doctors have failed. You turn to other things to numb the pain that failed, and you know at the back of your mind that only God can. Yeah, and I think naturally as humans we know that, like, we can't exist outside God. We can't be happy completely outside God. And for me, that really gave me comfort and a place to run to. I love that verse that says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, and the righteous run to it and they are safe. So for me it was like, okay, all this has happened. Yes, so what? I've lost everything. No more education. I might lose the scholarship. I've lost all the doors. I was supposed to go Africa. I was supposed to go big. I've lost all those opportunities. So what? At least I've got life, and I can run to God. I'll be safe. It's okay. So I just said, even if I don't get all those things, at least I have God. At least I'm alive. It's all right. I gave it all up in my mind, saying it's all right. But God had a bigger plan.
During the time that you were restored and your health was totally restored and you were back, how long did it take for you to get back to school? How long did it take for you to get back? Wow.
A year. A year. So that's the year I spent soul searching. I would be in the house from 6 to 6 without coming outside. Didn't want to meet people.
Was it because you were depressed, or you just thought you wanted some alone time?
It was in and out of depression, in and out of wanting alone time, in and out of trying to make sense out of life, because you're waking up in the morning and you have nothing to look forward to, because everything that was important to you is no more. Everything that made you work hard, everything that made you wake up in the morning and say, I want to do big things in life, I want to be this in life, was no more. Nothing is in reach. And now you just have you and yourself, and you're like, okay, God, where do I move from here? So when I realized that only God could heal me, and I gave up everything and said, God, I just want you. And I think that's what really helped me. When you just say, you know what, yes, I've lost it. Let me forget the former things. Let me not dwell in the past. It's okay. I just want God. So it was that wanting God that really healed me, because now you are fulfilled. You're like, this is the true purpose of life. Everything else aside, I just want God. And God fulfilled me. He healed me. And I think it was that wanting and desire to get God that made me get all these other things as well. They just came back and they tripled.
Exactly. So your testimony, is it in any of these, the audio CD?
Yeah, that's the whole purpose. That's the reason why we wrote the book. That's the reason why I did the album. So that I can, there are a lot of other things that I haven't said here that are there in my testimony. And I just want to inspire somebody out there, because I was written off, man.
Exactly.
You know, where somebody looks at you and say, Raja, you know what I mean? I used to get such words, like somebody looking at me and telling me that. And even though I was sick, God made me remember all that stuff, man.
Exactly.
And yeah, I want to encourage somebody out there who's written off too.
Okay, cool. So maybe just as we wrap up, where can they get the CD, the music, and the book itself?
First,
Okay.
they can
Yeah.
get it sharing
Sorry, Master.
on the Faith Gospel Hour page.
Yeah.
If you share right now, you will win this one in my hands right now. Just share that post that we're featuring Antonio on, the picture of Antonio. Just, share it. It looks like this exactly. We're talking about him, featuring him. You
He
stand
looks
a chance-
like Kirk Franklin, or is it Kirk Franklin looks like
I love
him?
the look, awesome stuff.
I
The
gave
thing
my
is going
life.
to win.
I gave my life to Jesus while listening to a Kirk Franklin song. So, yeah.
That's why he looks like you, yeah.
That's why Kirk looks like me.
Yeah.
So I wanted to say something on,
Yeah.
on the CD.
Yeah.
You have a street kid looking into the mirror, and with their rugged self in the mirror, they see Yellow Dove,
Yeah.
clean and whatnot.
Yeah.
So the idea behind these two projects is not just to share the testimony, but also to help somebody out there the same way I was helped growing up. So all the pretty much 20% of the proceeds are going to kids that cannot afford to get an education. So when you go out there and buy the CD, when you go out there and buy the book, you're not giving me the money. You're taking somebody out there to school. And this guy on the cover is an actual person. It's not animated. He's an actual street kid. You go on the streets, you will see him. Okay. So his name is Cassius Mulenga. So we're taking people like him. We've partnered with an organization to school, and we're using these two projects to do that. So when you get yourself that CD, know you are taking somebody to school. You're sowing a seed into somebody's life. Okay, so you can get the CD and the album at Mwasuwila Bookstore. It's at Levy Mall in Lusaka. It's there in Kitwe. It's there in Ndola. It's there in Livingston. Mwasuwila Bookstore. And then also you can get it at Radio Christian Voice. Then you can also get in touch on Facebook. Just look for Yellow Dove, like the page, and inbox me if you want a copy. Then we'll see how we can.
If they want, they can just come to ZNBC and have it autographed, you know.
Yeah,
right
exactly.
here and see Antonio right in person.
Exactly.
Take somebody to school. We're calling it Take Me to School campaign.
Amen. Well, time is up with us, and our director is winding us down. We'll have to, wind down. But it's been an amazing time with you, Antonio. I'd like to say thank you very much for having joined us and graced us and just shared with us your testimony. It's really encouraging. So if you're out there, get yourself a copy of either CD or the book, or go to our Facebook page and then just share the post that we did put there for Antonio Mwanamuke, and you stand to win one of these, either CD or the book. Well, this has been the Faith Gospel Hour, live and unrehearsed from the Mass Media Studios TV1, and my name is Leonard Mwandela.
My name is Master Nzulu. May God keep you, bless you, and keep his face directed towards you. Until next week on the Gospel Hour, awesome stuff. We'll leave you with the beautiful hands of Pastor Joshua, and he sings this beautiful song that says Marvelous. See you next week.